Up our set 19 Fighters Ambition reveals, and today we're talking about Blue Gohan. We'll be covering what is probably the most controversial, interesting, maybe even the impacted card in today's video, so I wanted to make mention of it. I'll try to remember to link it down in the description, but if I forget, just drop some comments. I'll definitely link it in the pinned comment at that point. But yeah, it does impact a card in today's video that we will talk about. I'll make sure to let you know about that errata. But anyways, if you're secretive, and maybe next set we'll get one. But anyways, Gohan permanents, you can only place up to 3 energy. That is on both sides. Auto and card attacks, draw 1. Awaken, relies 5 for a long time. And the old Untaught 2 leaders just don't do enough compared to modern leaders. But if anyways, on the Awaken side, auto once return if all your energy is mono blue. When one of your blue battle cards is added to your Z energy, switch one of your energy to active mode. So notice you can still only place 3 energy, but when you do combo once per turn, you get an energy back. So you're technically playing with 4 energy per turn. And now that since being has seen the errata that it saw, this deck is a lot more limited in what is leader just by reading the leader. One, again, you can only have a very low amount of energy. That's to, I guess, limit the amount of aggro you can put on, because this is a very aggressive blue deck. And then active main / battle draw 3 is basically telling you, okay, combo your entire hand, draw bow, redrawing your hand, doing that type of thing. So again, very aggressive blue deck, and we'll see what the rest of the battle cards do. All right, we have Pan, Glimpse of Talent. We have a very simple barrier, auto when it's played, draw, and activate made, you can give your opponent control of it. That's relevant for SS Gohan Wrathful Awakening. 4-drop 19k dual attack. When this card's played, you can bottom deck a 5 or less. That's not a Pan. And then activate main limit 1 for a blue. If your opponent has Pan Superhero in play, play this card from your hand, and it is a dual attacker, so this is a very cheap aggressive threat. Auto, when this card's played, you can choose one. Either give it barrier till the opponent's next turn, or you can play 1 Pan Glimpse of Talent from your deck and then shuffle. So you're able to grab the Pan, give it to your opponent, and then with your one of your additional energy, play Wrathful Awakening. That's 4 attacks right there. And then Piccolo has 2 more effects. Activate main limit 1 for 2 blue. If your leader's blue, play this card from your hand. I find it so weird they didn't just make this card a 2-drop at that point. Of your 1-drop draw, which I just really like, because sometimes not using your turn 1 energy feels really bad no matter what deck you're playing, and some decks end up having to do that if they miss their 1-drop. So this little combo here is not only tied to Gohan as far as like the Piccolo and the Pan go, so any blue deck that wants to play these has multiple copies of their 1 superhero. Play this card from your hand. Vegeta also has the same activate battle. The reason that's important is because you can untap energy during your opponent's turn by comboing, and you want to be able to make better to spend your energy on. And then Vegeta, he looks at the top 7, adds a superhero card with energy cost of 4 or less, so he's pretty solid for finding cards like the Piccolo, finding cards like the Gohan as well. And the Pan Piccolo combo, blue just got really good generic cards. So this card is Deflect. Constantly see this thing go back into the Z energy because its activate battle is used out of the Z energy. Use up to 2 mono blue cards with 5k combo from your drop in a combo. This skill is negated for the turn. Then additionally, if there are 3 or more cards in your combo area, play this card from your Z energy. So typically with this card, you always want to combo 1 card and then use this activate battle, combo 2. Because blue plays a lot of extra cards, and if you're clunked with a lot of extra cards, you can basically pitch one of them to turn this into basically a 15k combo, which is really solid. So really good blue card. Yeah, not much more to say about that. Super good. All right, then we have a few more cards. Now, Son Goku Interplanetary Training is one that was actually errated on that list I was talking about earlier. So this is a super card in play. When this card's using a combo, draw 1. Now, this is a 5k super. That is very important. Like in our team's testing, we completely disregarded the super combo because we couldn't cut it. But now that this is a 10k super combo, this is worth revisiting because it's highly searchable. It's usable above 4 life. So great change there. Vegeta Interplan. Your opponent either places a card from the hand at the bottom of the deck, or you bottom deck a 4 or less on their board. So just a solid 1-drop 15k threat. Again, we're trying to be very aggressive. This is one of your ways to do that. And then we have Gohan Power Unshackled, which is such an annoying card to play against. I mean, this card can be really hard to play through at the right time. But so basically, same as Vegeta, 2 or less, and place at the bottom of the owner's deck each time. So yeah, you're floodgated, and this floodgate is very much like the 5-drop SS4 Goku Unison. My battle cards, that'd be much easier because I can swing with one, then bottom deck the one I swung with to swing with another, and do stuff quite hard to play around if you don't have a counterplay for it or something along those lines. And then we have 2 more cards that are not necessarily for the archetype, but they are blue and they're worth talking about. But I guess they felt like blue needed it. We have 1-drop counterplay. If you have a blue Z battle card in play, and then permanent, if all your energy is mono blue, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by placing 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck. So blue just got a free answer to things like Riposte, Oceanus, all types of floodgates like that, as long as you have a blue Z battle card in play. And many of the blue Z battle cards are very sticky, like the new Beerus Area Annihilator, other blue barrier on Piccolo, Heroic Team, 8-drop 19k. We read this card already in the Piccolo video, but basically when it attacks you can draw a card, and that's really good in this deck because you know your leader refuels you back to 3, so if this is your last swing of the turn, you can go up to 4, which is getting you just a bit more cards in hand. And then the thing here on the Activate Battle, which is more important in this deck than it is in Yellow Piccolo, because Yellow Piccolo can obviously swap into this. Here you have Activate Battle for a blue or yellow. Play this card from your hand. So this combos incredibly well with Vegeta Goku Immortal Rivalry, because that card is almost always going to lead you to a combo 3, and then you can just play this. So basically for 1 energy you can play Immortal Rivalry, and then for another energy, as long as you resolved set. They're not particularly like for this deck, but you can play them, but there's probably better cards to play. But anyways, Gamma 1 new hero, 2-drop 15k critical heroic. So we haven't seen heroic in a long time. Basically, if you control a heroic card and play a new heroic card, you draw 1. Active main limit 1 for a blue if you have 3 or more energy and a player has a Sun Gohan superhero in play, which can be yourself. Play this card from your hand. And then Gamma 2 new hero heroic, and then auto place this card in the owner's drop when your leader is attacked, negate the attack, and then activate main if you have 3 or more energy and a player has a Piccolo superhero card in play. Play this card from your hand. So again, like they pair with Piccolo and Gohan, which is just stuff based off the move energy cost deflect. If your leader has superhero on its character name, when this card's played, if your opponent has 11 or more mono blue battle card with 5,000 combo from your drop in a combo, when the skill is negated for the turn, at the start of your next turn, add the card you sent to the warp by the skill to your hand. So that's another way. Leader's character name includes superhero, you have 3 or more energy, and you remove this card from the game. Choose up to one of your blue battle cards with 2 or more character names, and it gets plus 10k and triple strike for the battle. So what's eligible for that? Your Immortal Rivalry Goku and Vegeta, and your blue yellow Piccolo Gohan, and then go for a triple strike that way. But overall, that's a deck in a nutshell. My opinion, I do think it's probably the best deck coming out of Fighter's Ambition, but the bar wasn't really set all that high to begin with. Like again, you're doing a lot of aggression. Your hand is never going to be all that, attacks a lot by turn 2, does a lot of damage by turn 2. But it's allowed to have a much bigger hand. I don't know, but yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me in the comments below what you think. Do you think Gohan's good? Do you think it sucks? I want to know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.